Tom, if I may, can I speak to the comment in the chat? Have we actually got a style? The answer is we do, but we also have a manager who adapts. And I've got an article I'm working on for the Daily Seagull, sort of a spinoff from North Stand Chat, that's going to talk about this in great detail. But I'm going to try to summarize as we watch our friends Caicedo and McAllister have a ton of success. And we know Caicedo was purchased for $115 million. McAllister is being talked about for 90 plus. Right, we're talking about an over $200 million midfield duo. I know we didn't see all that return from them, but the quality of these guys is immense. And there's a 38-game season that you Brighton fans don't remember. But there are 38 games that were magical, where we had a plus 21 goal differential over those 38 games. We earned 66 points from those 38 games. That season doesn't make sense in your minds because that season happened at the end of 21-22, when Graham Potter, after one of the worst stretches in our history, decided to start Caicedo and McAllister together for the first time. So following the Norwich 0-0 draw that followed 6 consecutive losses, being outscored 12-1, we started that duo and changed our fortunes, having been talked about for Champions League during part of that season. I went back and read the articles because we were pushing. We plummeted with that run of bad results. Calls for Potter out, speeches about, history lessons and other things. Don't shout, shoot, were all happening during that stretch of time. But the insertion of those two changed our fortunes. And over that season and then the season that followed, with under Potter's leadership and then into De Zerbi's leadership, with those two on the pitch. Okay. Here are the numbers. Those two starting together, I should say, not just on the pitch. .74 points per match. 1.74 points per match. 38 matches exactly, 66 points. That's been good enough for between 4th and 6th every season we've been to the Premier League. Every season. So with those two guys, we are a contender for Champions League. We are a European outfit. In Potter's era, 21-22 alone, our 9th place year. Okay, so we vaulted that year at the end of the season from 13th to 9th, our best ever finish. We had 5 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss in those games with McAllister and Caicedo starting. That season up to that point, in 30 matches, we had 34 points. That's 1.13 points per match under Potter without Caicedo and McAllister in 21-22. Same lineup. Okay. Under De Zerbi, so this would be 22-23 with those two when he didn't have them both in the lineup, and then all of 23-24 because they were gone at that point. De Zerbi had 46 matches and earned 60 points. That's 1.3 points per match. Now, I say this to say that entire time, we have been at a rate that would have us in every year of the 8 that we've been in the Premier League between 11th and 13th. 11th and 13th. Potter, De Zerbi. Those are the games without those two guys. Now, I know we spent money to replace those guys this year, but when you think about who those guys were, okay, De Zerbi had Baleva last year, and I know people would say he's gotten a lot better. I think when we saw him on the pitch last year, he was our best player. De Zerbi thought he wasn't ready. Our young manager this year, without those two players, 35 matches, 52 points. It's 1.49 points per match. All right, so that's nearly a fifth of a point more than De Zerbi. You can say he had Europe last year, but the numbers weren't any better the prior year without Caicedo and McAllister. So our style is maybe not as defined as under De Zerbi, but it is more adaptable and probably more akin to Potter, but the results are far better. And sure, maybe we have a better team than we did prior to 21-22, but that team in 21-22 fared very, very well. And people forget we lost Mwepu from our midfield. We had Gross in that midfield alongside these other guys. I know it's a long little rant, but I think the 2 goals that everyone attributed to individual brilliance against West Ham, those goals were from zone 14. And what Hurzeler's attack does in overloading and pushing the defense deeper and deeper with a greater number of players getting forward opens up space in zone 14 where passes can be made, or if the defense sits back, shots can be taken from long range. I don't have the charts, but I would say we've seen a lot of long range shots. And people keep talking about how we've seen goals this season like no other. That's a part of it. It's because we're creating space in a zone where increasingly, as defenses do sit back, there's the availability to strike, especially when you give yourself time and space to do it. So while that may not seem like beautiful, we're making 8,000 passes to go nowhere, which we also complained about, I do think we have a style. I think he's adapted so it doesn't look, if you watch Hurzeler ball on film, right, and you go look at what he did at St. Pauli, it doesn't look exactly like that. I think that's both a personnel issue, and I think it's the Premier League is just a little tougher than the Bundesliga too. That's not surprising. So he's having to adapt. But I do think we have a style. I do think our manager adapts game to game. And I will tell you, his results are better without those 2 star players. Brighton has only been really a European contender in the time when we had Caicedo and McAllister starting games together. In the rest of our time, this is the best we've done, right? Is to been around 10th place, because we've been 11th to 13th with the other 2 prior managers in the 4 seasons cumulatively that have been our best. So that's the reality of how Brighton has done. And the best season we've ever had was just a result, largely, not just, but that stretch of 38 games with the best 2 players, you can make a case, have worn the shirt in recent years. And I think it's a fair case that those 2 guys are at that level. One's a World Cup winner and now a Premier League champion. And Caicedo is, whether you like him or not, he's one of the best midfielders in the game right now.